I'm old enough to remember a lot of old things in my life. I think we can all remember the original iPods, the big TVs. They weren't flat screen and they could crush any man's soul if it fell on them. These stupid fucking wires, this stupid fucking wire, and my personal favorite, Dragon Ball Z Kai. None of you have a single idea what I'm talking about, but that doesn't matter, because I know that while many of these things may be nostalgic to many different people depending on the person's memory, I know all my Persona fans know about these old classic Persona games, like Persona 2 Sumi Lost Memory. Well, how about Persona Mobile Online? What the hell is Persona 3 Broken Okay, hold on. I've never heard of any of these games in my entire life. How do they even exist? Apparently, Atlus's mainstream franchise, Persona, has its fair share of games that were completely abandoned by the developers. So, with Persona 5 Strikers on the way coming in late February, I figured it'd be a great time to talk about some of the Persona abandonware games. Here's a quick disclaimer. I got the idea for this video from a Reddit post by ComicMaster140, who apparently has been suspended from Reddit. #FreeComicMaster140. Nah, he probably got suspended for good reason, so never mind. But yeah, the post will be linked in the description, along with any videos I got from YouTube that will show gameplay of these abandonware games, since I myself do not own any of these. So I'll be showing the YouTuber names at the bottom right of the screen, and basically to show that I'm not stealing. If you are in this video and you don't want to be, let me know and I will gladly remove the part that you're in. With that being said, let's begin. Many of you are probably confused as to what an abandonware game actually is. So, from what I understand, abandonware is a software or program, in this case a video game, that can no longer be played or used due to the lack of ROM data that would allow it to run. Basically, in this case, it's a game that can't be run or found. And thanks to the almighty Reddit post, apparently there are 16 total abandoned Persona games that Atlus has made, and I'll really only be looking at a handful of these games, but 16 is an estimate. There are probably way more than that. Let's quickly address the elephant in the room. Most, if not all, of these games were only released in Japan and never got to see a North American release, unfortunately, meaning that most of the footage you're about to see is in Japanese, starting with Persona Mobile Online. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Atlus even had a phase that was high off of mobile gaming and the industry of money that came with it, and by God almighty, they mass-produced these Megaton games to death. Persona Mobile Online was an MMORPG released in 2009 that had the usual Persona mechanics, along with a multiplayer system where you could team with other players in order to beat shadows and gain Arcana points, which were in replacement of the social rank or confidant system most fans are familiar with. There wasn't much of a story to it. Your character is a part of Yamori High School. He's a student whose main goal is to fend off any shadows that are lurking in the school. And the characters in the game, sorry if I butcher these names, but Taro, Aita Sanada, Saburo Yoshida, and Iris are all native to the mobile game and don't make any other appearances in any of the other games, including the abandonware ones. Sticking with mobile games, most people have probably heard of Persona 3 Escape and Persona 3 Social. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Atlus butchered Persona 3 in the mobile gaming industry just like they butchered Persona 4 generally. Persona 3 Escape was an actual story-driven mobile game that explained a direct scene in the original Persona 3. You play as the main protagonist and Yukari, God I hate Yukari, and you're trapped in the love hotel from the third full moon trying to escape with the help of Fuka. The game is in a puzzle-oriented style in which your goal is to match certain objects with personas to obtain, well, more Personas, and I assume beat the game. It came out in 2007 and looks pretty interesting, although I highly doubt that people played it more than once, considering the replayability was probably non-existent. For a mobile game back then, it would have been hella popular had a North American version been released, but this was all part of what was known at the time as Megaton Arufa. God help me if I said that wrong, I really didn't mean to. A subscription service that gave its users exclusive Megami Tensei content. Oh, right, for those who don't know what Shin Megami Tensei is, long story short, it's kind of the reason Persona exists. If you really want to learn more, just Google it. Just please Google it. Or if you want me to explain it, I will gladly do that in another video. Comment down below. But anyway, the service was promptly abandoned for other services that did the exact same thing. And I really only bring this up to point out that A, that's why there was never a US released, and most of these games had, and B, most of the mobile games from Persona we know about came out on here first. They were released on other platforms later, but they first made appearances in Megaton Arufa. Persona 3 Social was a bit different from Persona 3 Escape, and by a bit different from Escape, I mean a fuck ton different from the whole franchise. The game was released in 2010 and it based itself off of the main high school in Persona 3 Gekkoukan High, in which the player, you, the main protagonist, is given quests and you get to fight off against shadows, because I mean that's what every other Persona mobile game does. But anyway, the RPG element comes in the form of experience that you earn from completing these quests and fighting these shadows. But that's pretty much about it. Social has a lot of different features that would honestly just take all day to talk about. So simply put, the game has a lot of shit, even a multiplayer feature from what I understand. Moving away from mobile games, Persona 4 isn't spared from the deadbeat father role it played in the creation of Persona 4 the Pachinko. This game caught my eye for quite rather apparent reasons. For those who don't know, Pachinko is a Japanese version of pinball, which means that Atlus wanted to make a damn pinball Persona game. And if you're wondering what platform it was supposed to come out on, Persona 4 the Pachinko was set to be released via Pachinko machine. A whole fucking pinball machine. I'm not kidding. Imagine having a bright yellow Pachinko pinball machine that just spouts Japanese nonsense every time you pass by it. I want one. The final abandoned Persona game I found interesting was, ironically, the most recent one. It's yet another mobile game called Persona OA. If you could even call it a game, Persona OA came out in relation to Persona 5 the animation and was a portal for fans to use for upcoming events and new content releases. It had certain games where you could explore mementos with another character from the game and gain what's known as Persona Points, which could be used to unlock digital content like wallpapers. You could also unlock chains of dialogue by continuously using different characters when heading to mementos, and unfortunately the service was shut down in August of 2019, but surprisingly the message notifying all players of its impending doom was on July 31st of 2019, which means that it was on my 17th birthday that yet another piece of software was set to be thrown in the garbage along with its brethren. It really is a tragedy to see such games fade into oblivion, considering how good they actually looked on mobile devices at the very least. I mean, there were way too many Persona abandonware games and even more Megaton games that I totally was not going to bring up in one video that's like 10 minutes long. It's impossible. But it does bring up a question that I bet we've all been asking throughout this entire video, myself included, and that's, why were these games shut down? The answer is kind of up in the air. I first thought when making this video that the major reason would probably be due to financial cost, but then Persona OA made me rethink that after Aniplex, the developers of the app, said that the game was used by, quote, many people, indicating a high user count, which doesn't really mean financial irresponsibility, so yeah. I think a more common reason is to make way for new and bigger Persona editions. For example, OA was shut down right before Persona 5 the Royal was set to release, and right after the animation ended in Japan. Will we truly know why these games were shut down? Nope. Atlus has no other intention to try and talk about a game that, from their mind, does not exist. So we're never going to really have an answer. It's kind of just up to interpretation, which, I mean, either way, these games will never be played again. Except for Persona 4 Pachinko. I'm going to find and I'm going to buy that machine. Thank you for tuning into today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and also comment any other abandonware games that I didn't talk about, or maybe from the Reddit post that you saw. Hopefully you find some that wasn't on that Reddit post and you can put them in the comments section, or if you want to talk about them more personally, join the Discord server. All social links are going to be in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Also, real quick thanks to Christian, who has given me this right here. Banana strawberry protein powder. Definitely it's going to be useful, and oh boy, I have 100% a guarantee that it's not going to taste terrible at all, just not even close.